Hello, everybody. When I started this channel, I didn't really have a good idea of what it was that I planned to do with it. Was this going to be a political channel? Was this going to be a personal anecdote or a personal blog? Was this going to be something about gaming? I mean, there's a whole range of potential topics that I could talk about, and honestly, I wasn't really sure what the plan was here. So, a lot of people might look at this and say, "Oh, by the way, my Mina here is sitting on my lap. So if you see random ears popping up or something, that's what this is. That's what this is about." I'm sure she'll make more than a few appearances in this video. Anyways, getting back to what I was saying, a lot of people might say, well, why would you start a YouTube channel? Why would you start some sort of project like that if you didn't have all of those details hashed out? You didn't know exactly what you were going to talk about. You didn't have your whole schedule planned out. You didn't have all of this sort of thing going on. And the truth really is that I needed to start this channel. It was something that I couldn't wait any longer on. And I thought it would make a great topic for a video in of itself because all too often we get so caught up in the details of something in our lives, whether it's starting a sport or a hobby, an activity, starting a side hustle, changing jobs, whatever else the case. Sometimes we get so incredibly caught up in the weeds that we never end up actually doing anything about it. And it kind of has been my own story that this channel, although I'm just starting it now, really this channel has been on my mind for years. I'd probably say more than 5 years. And I've, I guess the best way to say it is I'm very much an introvert. I spend a lot of time at home. I don't really go out and do a lot of activities. So when it comes to my thoughts and my opinions, wow, my voice acting up here a little today. Give me a second. When it comes to my thoughts and my opinions, I don't really share them with a lot of people. Now, of course, my introvertedness is one of those factors, but also it's because there is certainly a fear. There's certainly a fear that I'm going to say the wrong thing or I'm going to have a particular opinion and it's not going to be well liked by others. And so I'm going to end up getting lots of hate, getting canceled, I guess that the cancel culture that's out there. And that certainly is one part of it. But when I really got serious about this was this YouTube thing. Well, not really. It wasn't really YouTube I started. When I got serious about, sharing my thoughts and opinions online, originally I had thought about doing a podcast. And I'd come up with all these ideas for podcasts and how to record them and how to do all this other stuff. And as I was sitting there and kind of putting all of this, trying to put all this work together, I realized it was just so overwhelming. So overwhelming to pick the topics. What topic was I going to talk about? And then I was like, then I have to research it and I have to do all of this work finding information, confirm my sources, confirm, is what I'm saying actually accurate? And then you got to record it and you've got to produce it and you've got to do all this other stuff here. And and I just was continually finding myself more and more overwhelmed by it. And also, I found myself spending more and more time worried about the details. What was the title of the video going to be? What was the title of the channel going to be? What topics were I going to talk about on a day-to-day basis? It just was this massive amount of work. Now, don't get me wrong, I think anybody that's going into podcasting or doing something, some sort of online presence or generating content, I guess would be the better thing, that those things are important. But meanwhile, while I was doing all of this work trying to come up with the perfect presentation, the perfect whatever you might want to say there, that I wasn't putting anything out online. And because of that, it really kind of took away the whole point of what it was. If I wasn't actually putting content out on the internet for people to view, what was the point? I could plan and I could plan and I could plan and I could plan and I could plan. And at the end of the day, nothing was actually happening. So at the January, so really this has only been a month to a month and a half. But when the new year started, I told myself, I'm going to start to put content out on the internet. And I was going to start this channel. And I really didn't know where I was going to go. I started with political stuff, because, with here in the US, with Trump coming into office, there is a lot of that content that's readily available, and it's pretty easy for us to be, or at least from any content creator, but somebody like me to be able to put that out there, and that's where I started. And I really haven't seen a lot of traction on it. Very few views on, I put a half dozen videos out there right now, and there's nothing. And I could sit here and I could be really, really upset about that and say, wow, I'm getting no traction, nothing's happening, I've just got a few views, whatever else. But on the other hand, I'm saying to myself, okay, but I'm learning something. I'm learning a little bit about how to edit videos. I'm learning a little bit about presentation. But more importantly, I'm actually doing it. I'm actually speaking the words. I'm engaged in this. And yeah, maybe the stuff that I've done up to this particular point isn't great content. But I heard someone tell me this a long while back, and I don't know if it was them stealing it from somebody else or whatever the case might be. You have to be bad before you're mediocre, and you have to be mediocre before you're good, and you have to be good before you become great. And so I'm sitting here and saying, yeah, I'm bad. My content isn't that great. The things that I'm saying, I trip over my words. I sometimes go off on tangents. I don't really know what it is that I'm doing here. And it kind of sucks. In fact, it really sucks. It really sucks to be in that spot where you really just don't know what it is that you're doing. I don't know. Should these be short videos? Should they be long videos? Should they be multi-topic? Should they be single topic? Should they be this? Should they be that? Da 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 da. And yeah, I'm in real time. I'm thinking about these things and knowing that what I'm doing isn't working. But the experience that I'm doing right now is so invaluable because when you do something that doesn't work and you can see that it doesn't work, you have the ability, you have the option to change it. You can say, okay, this isn't working. Let me try something else. And even this video that I'm doing right now, one of the things that I'm going to change is to going to more freeform content. More, I'll have a general idea of what I'm talking about, but less scripting. More just me talking to you, the viewer, about whatever it is that's on my mind. And hopefully some of that information sticks. But I think it does speak to a bigger problem, which is we don't we get so, I'm trying to think of what the right word is. We get so scared, we get so worried. I think scared maybe would be a better choice of words. We get so scared by the fact that what if things aren't perfect? What if I say the wrong words? What if I look stupid when I'm doing this video? What if I get all sorts of hate from people? And then I think about it and say, even if I got a bunch of hate from people, if people are hate watching, then they're still watching. That means they have to at least be paying attention to my content. It means my content, somebody out there is at least looking at it. I've hit a nerve with somebody, so that I must be doing something right. But it also applies to all aspects of our lives. You think about people who talk about wanting to go to the gym as an example to better themselves. For whatever reason, maybe you want to lose weight, maybe you want to build muscle, maybe you just want to feel better. But you get this fear in your mind, and you say to yourself, well, what if I go in there and I don't know how to use the machines? What if I go in there and I hurt myself? What if, you're maybe a bigger person right now? What if you go in there? What if somebody laughs at me because I'm this big guy or this big girl that happens to be, using this machine, and or using one of the cable machines, I'm only using 10 or 20 pounds on it. And there's people that can do several hundred pounds. And I would say, so what? Yeah, it's probably going to be uncomfortable. The first time you step into a gym, if you've never stepped into a gym before, it's going to be an unpleasant experience. And yeah, it's very possible that somebody might think something bad about you. You know what I would say? F that. F that. Who cares what other people think? When I went to the gym for the first time, which was about 3.5 years ago, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I use a private trainer, and I still work with that same trainer, and they joke with me. My trainer, he jokes with me and says, when you first came in and you did squats for the first time, and I just did squats with just the bar, no weights on it, so that's just 45 pounds on there. He said, I was worried you weren't going to even be able to do that. And yeah, I felt terrible the first time I went in. I kind of felt terrible the second time I went in. I felt terrible for a while, but then I started to feel less terrible. And I started to see the weights go up, the numbers go up. I started to feel better. I started to look better. And, now I'm at the point, yeah, there's still people in the gym that I go to that do more weight than me, that can do more reps at that weight than me. I don't care. If anything, it only motivates me to do better, to do more. And I think that's the same thing with this channel. Yeah, it sucks that I've got no views or very few views on any of my stuff. It sucks that maybe I'm just not talking about the right things. But I'm also not going to quit. I'm not going to, I'm not going to be afraid of the fact that, yeah, this is going to be a tough thing, really a tough thing for me to do, especially as an introverted person. But I think what I want to do here is I want to get more I want to get more honest about myself. Rather than talking about the politics, rather than talking about the, whatever the latest news or rage bait stuff is, I kind of want to talk about my own experiences. As an older 40 something year old man who's horribly introverted, I'll tell you, I'm way better than I used to be, but I'm still very introverted. I think there's a lot of things that I can talk about. And I think that there's a lot of experience that I have that maybe I can share with the rest of you out there. But the key is that I've got to be willing to start. I've got to be willing to put myself out there. I've got to be willing to look stupid, to sound stupid, to, I guess, be stupid, so to speak. Because I don't know what works, but I sure as heck can, over time, can figure out what doesn't work. And I think for a lot of you out there, your biggest, the biggest fear is, what if you fail? Right? And I feel that. I say to myself, what if I fail? What if this channel doesn't prove to be successful? Heck, I'm failing right now because I am putting content out that nobody is looking at. And guess what? I'm not, I don't feel bad so much about the fact that it's failing, so much as saying to myself, okay, well, I know this isn't working, so let's try something else. Lots and lots of great people fail, and they fail often. And I know myself that failing in this channel, it's it's part of the process. It's part of the process of getting better. It's part of the process, and even if I'm not getting the views, the fact is I am talking, I'm learning how to communicate, I'm learning how to present myself. Those are skills that are even more important than whether I ever have a single person look at this content or not. And it's also teaching me motivation. It's teaching me motivation, time management, because I've got to put these videos out. They do take time. And yeah, there's days that I just want to be done with work and just go crash on the couch. So I'm going to continue to move away from the political conversations and the news, more to this kind of, this more personal, more unscripted type of stuff. And I definitely have a lot of topics I can talk about. I grew up, have a brutally bad childhood. Let's just be perfectly honest. I have been a complete and total screw up. And, a lot of people probably out there are too. A lot of us have made terrible mistakes, have done incredibly stupid stuff, been incredibly naive in the way we approach life. And maybe I'm hoping here that if I can share some of my experiences, maybe I can connect with some of you out there. Some of you who maybe have the same challenges. Maybe some of you younger, maybe even those of you older who are a little afraid to talk about these things. And let's just see where that, heard something outside there, so not sure what's going on. We had snow here, so we really don't have snow, so people are freaking out about it. But any event, we'll see where that goes. So I'm going to wrap this up here, and we'll kind of, I look forward to hearing from you. Please obviously like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. Is this, do you have that struggle? Do you have that struggle of trying to start things and just being afraid of it? And if so, what was the experience? Have you started yet? And if not, for those of you who have started, what was it? What was that motivation that helped you get there? You all have a great day, and we'll talk to you in the next video.